throughout the building evenly.
Okay.
They also build these buildings to withstand forces of hurricanes.
Not a 747 or two landing in the top third of it.
It's not a
though.
hurricane. A 747 is like you taking a pencil and poking it through your screen door.
Yeah, but if I were to take that pencil and at a velocity that was strong enough, it might rip a bigger hole than just the size of the pencil.
Velocity didn't have that much to do with it. Again, it's like taking a pencil and poking it through your screen door.
It is and it isn't, though.
I the interview with one of the original architects where they discussed that the building was built to withstand not one penetration by an aircraft, but three. Three, and remain standing. Both buildings were built that way.
Yeah, but you can't...
But you keep saying yeah, and I keep saying to you that I can show you the architect, one of the architects, he's Japanese, one of the architects of the World Trade Center, who will tell you that the buildings were built to withstand 3 hits, because the World Trade Center is in proximity to Newark. Okay. It's in proximity to LaGuardia. Okay. It's also a little bit further out is JFK. It's not inconceivable that in a heavy fog that it's possible that a plane could hit one of those buildings.
Okay, I'll take that. But
however, they were built to withstand 3 hits, and they were built to withstand 3 hits from not a 767, but a 707.
Okay.
And a 707 was one of the first jets put into service. As such, it was not as fuel efficient as a 767 is.
Okay.
A fully fueled 707 holds more fuel than a 767.
Okay. What if you took a smaller plane? Say you had just like an E... The fuck are they? You know, you had, say, a 70-passenger plane. Fly in to the very top 8th part of the building. What do you think would happen?
Nothing.
You don't think anything would happen? You think the plane would just crash and just fall off the building?
Would be destroyed, and I think maybe some of the people in the offices would be killed.
Yeah, but, like, you don't think that there would be any tipping, rubble, dust, structural damage done?
No, I don't believe that a 767 fully fueled would cause the building to fall over.
Were those 767s that flew into that building? I don't think so. Yes. Weren't they 747s?
767s.
Still 400,000 pounds. That's a.
You keep going back to that, and I keep telling you that 400,000 pounds is nothing when you look at the structure of that building in total.
Okay, well, what about what happens during an explosion? Fuel explosion. And I know you're saying that there wasn't that much fuel on those things, and I understand that.
No, I didn't say that. I told you it was fully fueled.
Okay.
It doesn't hold as much fuel as a 707.
Okay.
However, that fuel burned immediately on impact.
Right, fuel, yeah, that's true. That does happen. That's correct.
You saw that fuel burn on impact. So, of that 400, well, let's see. How much fuel? Let's find out. So a 767 is 400,000 pounds. How much fuel does a 767 hold? And the answer is... Somebody gave a best answer. That's 23,000 gallons. According to Boeing,
sounds about right.
23,000 gallons, or 162,000 pounds.
Okay.
162,000 pounds burned off immediately.
Yeah, which makes sense.
So now your 400,000 pound plane is 250.
Okay, but what about the energy with heat, or the energy with explosion?
What explosion? What explosion was there?
Well, just fuel. So when
You saw
you
the- you
when
saw
when you hit
fuel
when you throw
mostly
fuel.
Like David Schwimmer.
Okay,
saw
so
the
say
fuel
you were to just take a
mostly
ball of
explode.
fuel
You
and
saw the fuel mostly explode outside the building.
right, but energy transfers, and that heat
No,
will
you
transfer.
saw most of that fuel burn outside of the building.
But how do you know that?
You saw it.
Well, you saw some of it.
You saw most of it. I don't think anybody disagrees with that.
No, I don't. I'm not disagreeing with it either. But I'm all I'm saying is that okay. How about this? What do you think happened?
What do I think happened?
Yes.
Oh, I can tell you exactly what I think happened.
I don't know, and I'm not being a smart ass. I don't know because I've never. I'm only like literally trying to think about
I'm gonna give
physics
you
like in my head. Like that's all I'm trying to like think
I'm
of.
gonna give you what I think happened.
Okay.
Muhammad Atta, the mastermind of this supposed attack.
Mhm.
Well, let me ask you, if you were going to, let's see, if you were going to hijack an airplane first thing in the morning, about 8:15, where would you sleep?
The night before?
Yeah,
Probably at the airport.
close to the airport, right?
Somewhere here.
That's not what happened. Muhammad Atta and his crew spent the night in Maine.
Okay.
At 6-something in the morning, they caught a flight on I don't know, they caught a flight, one of the commuter flights from Maine to Boston,
Okay.
where they had a 40-minute window in order to catch their flight that they were going to be.
But see, you got to remember that's also something I would do, not being a terrorist mastermind.
I see. So when you're a terrorist mastermind, you make really stupid
You might want to try to fly under the radar. I
under
don't
the
know.
radar. So
I
you
don't know.
would fly. You would risk flying with your pockets full of box cutters from Maine.
All I'm saying is that these people, if I remember correctly of reading this, they were known troublemakers before.
What does that mean?
Every single person.
Meaning they were known people to the government of the United States. Known that on a list.
Uh-huh.
So maybe if you slept in Maine, you might not be so suspicious. Whereas if you were to sleep close to the airport, someone might be watching you.
You've got everybody's got a box cutter. Everybody's going to go through airport security. So you're going to fly twice.
Airport security, the way we know it now, was not until after 9/11.
Airport security was no good back then. They didn't have metal detectors.
No, they did not have jack shit.
Wait. They didn't have metal detectors in 2001?
I remember very much not having to go through any kind of bullshit until after 9/11.
Wait. You didn't go through a metal detector.
I don't know if I went through metal detectors at that point. Let me see. What was I when 9/11 happened? I was fairly young.
I did an awful lot of. See, I flew.
I was in Pennsylvania when 9/11 happened, actually.
So was I. I went to Thailand in November of 2001. I did a lot of flying for work. I always went through a metal detector. Always.
Always, but people still sneak things on planes now.
So, how many of the hijackers were there? How many hijackers were there total?
I don't know.
19.
Hold on 1 second.
I still remember that.
I just remembered.
Go ahead, Joe.
And I worked at like 10
So,
a.m.
out of the 19 hijackers, every one of them was successful at sneaking
That's gonna burn me.
sneaking a
parking
box
lot.
cutter
You guys
through the metal detectors. Every one of them. Some of them twice.
Our friend Brandy.
Yeah. Well, security was a lot lighter then. We weren't expecting
A
that.
lot lighter, except the fact that most of those people in Boston were wanted as well as going through the metal detector. They had a little bit of scrutiny placed upon them more than other people.
Okay.
They didn't find anything.
So we had that, and it was
Okay.
going for hours. Well, it wasn't going
So how's
a
it?
good while.
Where'd they get their box cutters?
You can get a box cutter anywhere you want.
Where? In the sterile area in the airport?
No. But, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you could... Lighters were allowed before 9/11.
No, we're not talking about lighters. We're talking about metal objects.
Literally
box
belly.
cutters.
Oh, geez, you know, at that point, I feel like you could have given anyone any excuse you wanted
Where did all
to.
19 of them get their box cutters?
And she's just looking at me.
Yeah, but I mean,
Second that this all happened.
what airport did they go through?
What am I supposed
They
to
went through
do? It's like
and then they flew to Boston,
right above.
where they
She didn't
changed
get
airlines,
her shirt to
and so they went through security again.
I'll never forget it.
Right.
Never forget it.
What is to say that you couldn't talk down anybody at security at that time, going, "Hey, I am."
Oh, it was
So
horrible.
19 hijackers, who are 18 of them were from Saudi Arabia, so Arabs.
Right. But at that time, it was a different time. They could have carried a tool bag saying they were a mechanic, and no one would have blinked an eye at that time.
Is that right? Arabs.
Sure, Arabs. I mean, you had your... If I remember correctly, you had your movies which talked about the terrorist action. You had the stuff that talked about the war, the Gulf War, you know, Gulf War.
Arabs and one Egyptian. So 19 swarthy-looking men with accents.
Yeah.
All got through our lax security in 2001.
They still get through our lax security. It's 2016.
They were all able, all 19 of them, get box cutters through security.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of them with 100% success.
I can't... You know what? If you thought about it, it probably wasn't that hard.
Doesn't that seem a bit far-fetched?
It does now, but not then.
Oh, so then it was just like Swiss cheese. We were so lax in our security that
Yeah.
could do anything.
Well, think about it. What would you be doing? All you gotta do is think about, what do I need to do to get a bunch of box cutters through security?
Why didn't they just bring a gun then?
Because a gun is obvious. You know what excuse you could have for having a box cutter on you through security at that time?
Video.
I'm a mechanic. I move houses. I need my tools because I have a job I'm going
I
to.
understand. That's why you pack them in your suitcase and they get checked.
I'm a contractor.
Going through security with the 4 other quote-unquote hijackers all together.
You don't know that they all went together.
Telling me that every one of them had a reason why they were carrying a weapon.
Or a place to put it.
Five men from Saudi Arabia carrying a weapon all got through security because security was so lax that, well, carrying a weapon, they needed to open boxes on board.
But hold on, you don't know where they would have been even putting it. You know, one of them could have pulled up on a metal detector and could have said, "I have a heart problem."
Maybe they were working for UPS.
No, but you can't say that. First of all, I mean, let's talk about the jobs that use box cutters.
5 people together, because the picture of them is all together. So you don't think that 5 people going through security, all with box cutters...
Well, that's easy if they all go through together. They all work for the same company.
Wait. But they didn't have any box cutters on them when they went through security because they were also wanted. They got a little bit more. They got a little bit more scrutiny because I guess they sort of stood out. They were thoroughly checked, and yet somehow they got box cutters between the security gate and the plane. All 19 of them. And you don't think that that's a little bit of a head scratcher?
I do think it's a head scratcher. You know what the head scratcher is, though?
Oh, it's all incompetence, huh?
Incompetence.
Really? And now, very strangely, we're told that when they test TSA fails 90% of the time. Now that's a head scratcher. So 90% of the time, TSA doesn't find things when the testers try to stuff things through. 90% of the time.
TSA isn't the only one responsible for national security. The